Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Consultant physicians say their industrial action will continue, and we'll tell you why straight ahead.
The Prime Minister addresses the Bain and Grantstown community on the Over the Hill initiative.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. More than 100 senior physicians are standing firm following what they described as a disappointing meeting with the Public Hospitals Authority today. The president of the Consultant Physician Staff Association says they refuse to continue services as those talks failed once again. Jared Higgs reports.
Both sides sat at the table this morning, but apparently that meeting didn't go so well.
There was absolutely no offer, no proposal, simply because of the statement made by the chairman of the board that they will not negotiate with us under the present circumstances.
Despite a promised intervention by Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, Munro says PHA officials were unproductive in their meeting on Thursday morning, describing the encounter as disappointing. The CPSA president also revealed details of his conversation with the Prime Minister, who told media that he would speak one-on-one with Dr. Munro as colleagues.
In speaking with him, he said that we need to have a proposal, an agreement, and he would back that as far as possible. And he would like to meet with us and many of the other unions to try and get resolution to the unrest. That was his comment yesterday.
Meanwhile, Munro responded to a suggestion that the unrest would not last long because the physicians are not being paid for the time off, and eventually they'll want their salary.
I disbelieve that. That is not true at all. Because if you be absolutely raw and correct, it is a minimal amount of our overall income that is coming from the PHA or from the public service. That it has an impact. I wouldn't say that. People say, oh, it ain't worth anything, but that is absolutely not true.
Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands, who is currently in Washington, has stated that the withdrawal of service has had a limited impact as elective procedures make up a small amount of services offered at PMH. Munro didn't agree.
Primarily, I think the minister is being political more than being someone who is concerned about the overall healthcare management in this country. The Princess Margaret Hospital has a significant impact on healthcare. The RAN has a significant impact. Sandwich Rehabilitation Center has significant impact. So when you say that it is only emergencies that makes a difference in healthcare, that is not so. Approximately half of the cases that I deal with as a surgeon and the surgeons in this group, they are elective cases.
The PHA is currently at odds with the three unions under its purview. The Bahamas Doctors Union, which represents junior physicians, announced on Tuesday that they applied for a strike vote, while Nurses Union officials are reportedly eyeing December 10th as a day to withdraw services. Asked if he feared a full healthcare shutdown, Munro said one group can't function without the other.
If the nurses were to remove services, our services, whether we say yes or no, would have to be reduced because you cannot work without the nurses.
The consultant physician's concerns include a lack of salary increases for the past 10 years and the lack of health insurance. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Well, amid rocky relations between government entities and several trade unions, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is set to meet with all trade union leaders at his office on Monday in a bid to address their concerns. With more on this, here's Jasmine Brown.
I am pleased to announce today that the Prime Minister will meet with all the presidents of all of the unions in the country from both umbrella groups this coming Monday at 10 a.m. at the office of the Prime Minister.
Folks says he has personally spoken to the heads of both umbrella unions and they've accepted the invitation to meet.
The Prime Minister will address the labor climate generally and also address specific issues as they relate to the individual unions. So this will be a wonderful opportunity for the trade union movement to have a head-to-head with the Prime Minister.
In recent weeks, members of the Bahamas Nurses Union, the Consultant Physician Staff Association, the Bahamas Doctors Union, the Bahamas Union of Teachers, the Union of Tertiary Educators of the Bahamas Industrial Manufacturers and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union, the Bahamas Communications and Public Managers Union, and the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union have all either demonstrated or threatened industrial action. In light of the upcoming meeting, folks pleaded with the senior doctors to return to work. He also revealed the nurses are set to take a strike vote next week.
Next week, Tuesday, there is a strike vote that is scheduled for the Nurses Union. We have looked over the new application by the Nurses Union, and we are satisfied that this process is correctly done.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, the PHA said in a statement during the meeting, the PHA noted that it was difficult to continue negotiations in good faith during the CPSA's industrial action. Therefore, management urged the CPSA to reinstate services as the negotiations proceed. The PHA said it intends to maintain open lines of communication with the CPSA and added, during this industrial action, the PHA continues to employ its emergency operations protocol to limit the impact on services rendered at public hospitals and clinics. Well, grief and shock at a local school this morning as the principal was found unresponsive in his office. Parents were called to Nassau Christian Academy to collect their children as faculty and staff tried to come to grips with the devastating news. An emotional scene outside the administration office of Nassau Christian Academy after the school's principal, 65-year-old Brentford Isaacs, died in his office just before noon. The school's administrator, Howard Mills, told our news it was one of the staff members in the school office who was walking down the corridor around 11:30 and noticed Isaac's coat hanging on his chair, but not in the usual way. He said when they checked his office, Isaac's was on the floor.
He had a struggle. I don't know whatever took place, but even the CPR on his desk was out of place. When I got there, he was laying out on the floor. I felt for some pulse, but I didn't feel any.
Paramedics were called but were unable to revive the veteran educator. Moments later, police arrived and parents like Christina Simmons were called to collect their children.
Well, her father got the news and he told me, I didn't know the principal in the past, I'm just finding this out. So I heard he had a heart attack. So I said, let me just hurry up, come get her. That's basically it.
I mean, how does that feel as a parent? Knowing
wow, I'm shocked. Wow.
I saw it over WhatsApp.
And what was your reaction?
I had to come get my child.
As police processed the scene, family and friends of Isaac's, a lover of sports, would gather near the office, some inside singing songs.
Jesus, Jesus, precious Jesus.
As tearful colleagues and students looked on, Isaac's body was removed from the office he worked in for years.
We sent a team of detectives who examined the body on scene, found nothing to suggest any foul play. So we're treating it as a regular sudden death. As in all deaths, the coroner is informed. You see the representative from the coroner's office here also working along with us. So there's no reason for us to suspect foul play at this time.
The school's administrator said Isaacs worked under him as a principal for some 18 years. He said Isaacs will be missed.
Well, it's a shock, for one, and you never get used to death. And especially the way Mr. Isaacs passed. It's really a shocker. That's the reason why I made the decision to close school. Teachers as well as students and parents would be not in a position to continue.
Labor Minister Dion Folk suggesting today that negotiations for Grant Lucayan employees who have volunteered for separation packages will be wrapped up by the holidays. Folks told senators the government is committed to completing the process as soon as possible.
We are hopeful that both unions and the new board at our Lucayan, that they will be able to come to a settlement so that those persons who want to leave the hotel, managers who want to leave can leave and leave with their severance packages. Those in the line staff union, those persons can also leave and leave with their severance packages. We want to get this done before Christmas so that those persons who are leaving will have their checks.
Government made the controversial decision to purchase the Trouble Resort in order to save employees' jobs. However, Half of those workers indicated they are ready to move on. Officials hope to secure a buyer by the second quarter of next year, noting about a dozen entities have expressed serious interest.
We have many serious contenders in terms of persons who want to purchase the property. I heard the leader of the opposition said the other day that there's some pie in the sky thing about our Lucayan being sold and that we are misleading the public, but there's absolutely no truth to what the leader of the opposition said. We have serious contenders, persons who are involved in the hotel industry, persons who are involved in the airline business, who have sent in serious proposals to the government.
Well, Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama, Iram Lewis, catching flack from some Bahamas Power-and-Light customers after suggesting in Parliament Wednesday that, among other things, Bahamians should take shorter showers to reduce their light bills. Jared Higgs reports.
Take shorter showers. I even say, don't get in my business. But growing up, in Wanakee, my shower was, initially, we put a tub in the sun and let the sun heat that up a bit, and then you count down 1, 2, 3, and you duck yourself off, and that was the shower. And in the winter season, if the water was cold, you see the real cowboy come out. So let's take shorter showers.
Lewis made the suggestion during debate on a bill to extend the value-added tax exemption on light bills under $300. PPL customers had mixed reactions.
That's crap, man. I don't believe in that at all. They're trying to find ways to make it look like they're doing their jobs, man, while they just raping this country, in my opinion. So, shorter showers, man, I like bathing like, what, 3 times a day? So
I ain't gonna take no shorter showers.
How come?
Because, I mean, you know, I need to cool off my body, and people need to cool off, because sunstroke can kill you and stuff, you know.
I think he has a small point. I mean, a lot of people have electric-powered hot water heaters, but in the long run, that's not the way to go. Obviously, reducing BC fuel costs would be the #1 thing to do by increasing solar or wind or natural energy.
PPL consumers have been up in arms due to skyrocketing light bills.
Well, Iram Lewis said, take a cowboy. So what I'm doing, I'm putting my water in the tub in the sun to get hot. So when the night come now, you know, I'm cutting back. So my water's getting hot.
Lewis's comments in the House also included other energy-saving suggestions, such as unplugging unused electronics and using more natural light. However, several people we spoke with couldn't contemplate taking shorter showers.
That's stupid. Why should you take shorter showers? Why don't they implement other things to help lessen the light bill? Like I heard they was talking about drilling our own oil and other measures and stop being lazy and telling us not to pay it.
I can take shorter showers. That's not a problem. Like I say, if it's a good way to conserve water and then reduce, of course, the electricity bill, that's one of the things we can do.
Not such a crazy suggestion then.
No, it's not. It's practical.
And they weren't the only consumers to sound off.
No, they need to get out. That's all that happens. That's all. Stay out. Get out and stay out, because they ain't taking shorter showers. So why should we take shorter showers? I know.
You should just give 2 suggestions, actually. Either switch to water saving or shorter showers. You know what, you want to take shorter showers.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Still to come on Our News, Over the Hill residents sound off on high unemployment. The details are after this break.